Today is going to be a how to prep your car for drift day video, just what I do, as well as I'll be installing my new oil cooler from my old build. And I'll be changing the oil filter because I had a well-known drifter message me that the new black Ryco ultra filtered, whatever they're called, I'll put a picture here, aren't too good for performance and drifting motors because their filtration is so good that they actually restrict the oil flow. So I'm going back to my normal stock Ryco filter. So this is the oil cooler from the 350Z that I built. So it was mounted under the car using this bracket flat like that under the trans tunnel, but that won't work for the S13 because it's too low. So I'm thinking we'll jack the car up and try and fit it between the radiator and intercooler. As well, while we're there, we'll chuck the lines on and change the filter. Basically, when I'm drifting, the oil temps are getting hotter than the coolant temps. The 350Z with this engine in it did run the cooler, but when I swapped it in the S13 there was no room for it, so we just got rid of it. But now the oil temps are sitting about 116 and the coolant is only probably about 88, 90. So for this next upcoming drift day, I want to test the oil cooler because if it works, well, I'll get a better fitting one and we'll mount it somewhere properly. For the minute, I'm just thinking in here, to give you guys a better view before I jack it up, there's probably maybe that much space down in here. So I'm thinking about slotting it up from underneath and see how that goes. So always use jack stands when going under the car. I'm just gonna, oh, that should be enough now. Oh, okay, it goes under now. So I'm just gonna stick it under the frame here, kind of in front of where the rack is. So I had to let the jack off so I could fit it. I'm just gonna try and squeeze it up under here. Please fit. It's not gonna fit. So to make it fit, I think we're gonna cut this bracket we welded on for the 350Z. Just gonna cut the welded parts here and here so all this black bracket will come off. So I will be back. Just making a coffee while my father does the grinding. I hate the grinder, except when I did the guards on Sally, I had a flappy disc on there most of the time, and the times when I did use the grinder, it kept kicking back on me. So anytime I can avoid it, I want to avoid it. So while he got the bracket off, I made coffee, so iced coffee. I'm also going to show you guys what I actually take drifting and just how much stuff I have to take just for this car, just for a singular day event, and how many tires we're planning on using. We just removed the bonnet latch support bracket because it was in the way. Just for this one event, I just want to test the oil cooler, then we'll get a better fitting one. It's still going to be enough to hold the bonnet shut, but that's where we've got it so far. I'm thinking about zip tying it and just the lines. When I put them on, I'll be able to zip tie the lines to probably here and it'll hold it quite sturdy. And hopefully the air passing straight through all of these, and because I don't have a grill, the radiator can still get some airflow. The lines that I already have, these ends, the 75s that go on the oil filter down there, are swivels, but these are not. They're solid end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cooler out and use the AN spanners that I have here, and I'm going to attach the lines to the cooler, and then put the cooler back in and then put the lines. I'm just taking the looped fittings off the oil filter sandwich plate thingy because we used to have the oil cooler on, but when we took it off we just put a looped line there so we could leave the sandwich plate on. So I'm just gonna get these off so then we can attach my lines to here. I think it's almost off, so I've got this bucket here because I don't want to waste my good oil because I just did an oil change. This is the looped line that was on there. Now I'm gonna go and grab the oil cooler lines and attach them where these were. Whilst I'm here, I am gonna take this oil filter off because I'm not running it. I've never run one of these before. I've only ever run the other Rycos. So I am gonna just go back to what I usually run. I know it works. And I know I won't have any issues with that. Dropped it. Oh my gosh, no. Everything's slippery. This one is like a lot heavier. Like it's solid, whereas this one's like tin. So I don't actually know what would be in it. I don't want it. I'm gonna fill the filter up a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, there. Because I don't want to spill it. And I'm just gonna get all in there. There. So it's got a better seal. Oops. Yeah. So let's chuck her on. I'm just gonna try and, without spilling, which I spilt anyway. I can't even see. This is a two-hand job. I think I need to get a rag and wipe the outside so I can tighten it up properly. You only want to do it hand tight. Okay, that's tight enough. Ta-da! So I had to get someone to hold the line at the top while I threaded it on. It was just impossible. But we put the two oil cooler lines on and tighten the oil filter, and I just degreased the area so we knew if we had any leaks, and because I don't like an oily engine bay. I'm gonna go and put the lines on the oil cooler now. It's all on, the oil cooler's on. I just need to secure it. I'll just use this light. I'm gonna zip tie the lines to this, whatever that is. And there's holes in the chassis down there. You can see there's one on that side and there's one on the other side. I'll just put a zip tie through those and hold it. It's just a test to see how much this helps. If it all works fine, I'll replace the oil cooler because I don't like that one. Too big and heavy. But I'm gonna get the car down off jack stands now and crank it a little bit to get the oil through the cooler because it's too hard to fill it under the car, and see what she sounds like. Take to a drift day. I'm going to add this to the toolbox, which is that looped line in case the oil cooler, I don't know, has issues. I take some spare like vac hose, of course heaps of zip ties, just a bunch of millimeter spanners, some flathead screwdrivers, usually something to grab things with, but that's just your typical tools. As well as some gloves, like heat-proof, cut-proof, well not heat-proof, but cut-proof gloves in case we need to do something while the car's a little bit hot. My baby powder scent from my E85 that I use sometimes. Just some bags for any rubbish we have, and then a bunch of rags. That's one thing. Degreasers. I also take grease. You never know when you need grease. Yeah, and brake fluid. I don't know if I said that already. Brake fluid and some heat shielding. That's it. Get all the skinners out to wash, and then I'm gonna push the car up and wash it before work tonight. I think I'll pack the car tomorrow night though. So I won some tires at QR last event we did, so I'm gonna change onto those immediately when I burn off the back ones here. These ones I'm not gonna use because, as you can see, they're my steerers. They're just a bit smaller because we don't have much clearance on the front, so I won't skid those. But this stack here is what I will take. Sally getting a bath. And that is how I install an oil cooler and get ready to go drifting in my 1Jz S13. Hope that gives you a bit of an idea on what I take and what goes into getting ready for these kind of events. But thank you so much for watching, and Sally said don't forget to subscribe.